illegal to buy 500 dildos. It's not illegal to buy $1,000 of baby oil and lube. That's not a crime. It's some weird, freaky shit now, but it ain't no crime. So it's like, I don't know to what extent do they actually have some evidence of saying, hey, he did this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even with the prolific ass whooping he gave Cassie in that hotel, it's like, what do you really do with that? I don't know. I really would like to just get down to it. I wish they would just get down to it just to say what they're really getting them on. But it's like the people that he's done stuff to, I don't know if they can come forward. And if they come forward, no pun intended, I guess. If they do that, then is there really any evidence? Like if Justin Bieber comes forward and says, yeah, Diddy did this to me. He raped me or whatever. How do you prove that? Now, does Diddy have some bad footage out there that could indicate he was, doing some shit he probably shouldn't have been doing? Yes. But how do you prove what he did? If he raped Usher at the Flavor Camp doing that fuck shit, how do you prove that though? It's kind of like where I'm kind of lost that, because it's like right now they're just saying a bunch of shit, but if you don't actually have like hardcore evidence to show him doing what they're saying he did, I don't know if they can really convict him or not. I don't know. But they've been rumoring that he's not eating. I personally believe that they could possibly try to Jeffrey Einstein his ass. I don't know. But I would be very careful if I was Diddy, because I get the fact that he ain't eating and all that kind of shit. Because it's like, bro, I'd be telling my lawyer to bring me some burgers or something in a suitcase or something. I don't know. I had to do something. But I wouldn't be eating either, because I could definitely see something happening to him. And man, right. Cal said, what about the guns though? Yeah, but it's like, what kind of felony is that? They said he had 3 AR-15s. So okay, he got 3 AR-15s. What does that actually mean? Were they legal or were they illegal? That's the thing. It's like we don't know. So it's like, how can you say one way or the other what this really is? That's my thing. That's what I'm like. It's like, if he had those AR-15s, were they legal or were they illegal? We don't know. So it's like trying to figure that kind of stuff out. I think is like they're just saying a bunch of shit to kind of really like smear his name, to where I think, and to some degree, that it's, you shouldn't be able to do that. You should just say, hey, we got evidence. Here's the files, and we go to court and go to court. But I don't know. They said the serial numbers were scratched off, so that's illegal. If that's true, I didn't hear that. They could, because like I said, it's just been, I haven't really locked in on it. So if that's true, if he got serial numbers scratched off, that's illegal. You can't do that, motherfucker. So that would say he has those guns illegally. So that could be a crime. But then what do you do with that? Is that 10 years or 10 days? What kind of, I don't know. But I think he's been doing some fuck shit for a long time. And my thing is kind of like with R. Kelly. You can't be that big of a celebrity doing the things you do and being the evil person that everyone is claiming you to be. You can't do that by yourself. And I'm sick and tired of these campaigns where they just pulling in one motherfucker and saying, yeah, this is our bad guy, and there's nobody else going to jail. It's like, even with Epstein, and what's the other girl, his chick, whatever her name was, Maxine, Jelaine, or something. Them two people couldn't do all that shit by themselves. Where are the people at who's picking up these kids? Where are the people at who's dropping them off and boarding them on their planes, going to get their food? Now, where are all these people at? Let's find some of this supporting cast, because they ass need to go to jail too. I'm just saying. But I guess with that being said, we'll see how it works out or what happens, but I digress. But yeah, I think they kind of like, I would say railroading Diddy a little bit. I don't know if he pissed somebody off, like like what Eric Adams did. Eric Adams pissed somebody off. I don't know if he got tired of the fuckery and the bullshit, but he definitely pissed somebody off. That you just don't get that kind of indictment, and they talking about some shit from 20 years ago. Buddy, you didn't piss somebody off. That's exactly what happened. So I don't know if he just said, I'm not towing this liberal left line no more, and this shit is fucking up the city and I'm tired of it. I don't know if he did that or what, but yeah, he definitely pissed somebody off for that shit to take place the way that it did. But I guess. All right. But let's get into the show. I'm a little thirsty. I don't know why, but we're gonna get into the show. So I'm gonna bring up this was an interesting show. Piers Morgan. He has some good ones and he has some bad ones. Sometimes his shit is just a little too much arguing and shit going on. But then sometimes, like on tonight, he actually has some good content, but the points aren't really made. And that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this. So without further ado,
powerful men in the world facing disputed claims that he's past his best joined an opinionated all-female panel to discuss the US presidential election. Elsewhere, President Joe Biden appeared on The View. Here with the real view, the uncensored view, is my all-star all-female panel. Author of the hit new book, I Used to Like You Until, How Binary Thinking Divides Us, Kat Timpf. Host of the Bituation Room, Francesca Fiorentini. Conservative commentator and Kamala Harris fan, Louise Mensch, and the journalist Emily Austin. But what a powerful all-female panel. I do feel like Biden going on The View here, completely intellectually overwhelmed. Let's start with Biden on the... I was joking, obviously.
And now all of these people, it appears, that they are Kamala Harris fans. They are pro Kamala. So that's what's happening here. And he is, oh, wait a minute. Let me see if I can do this. I wonder if that changes that. Yeah, a little bit. Okay. And he is basically gonna kind of like debate them, and he's gonna ask some really great questions. And that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this, because he asked some questions, but he didn't hold their feet to the fire. And that's what I'm
let's start with Biden on The View today. We've got a clip, and one of the many interesting parts of this was when he was asked directly, basically, whether Nancy Pelosi had stabbed him in the back to make him quit. This was the response.
Did you feel that your hand was forced, and what is your relationship with Speaker Pelosi now?
Our relationship is fine. Look.
Did you see the triple blink? That motherfucking eyelids had the butterfly effect. He was like, that lets you know he's full of shit. And everybody knows it. Nancy Pelosi literally was the one that said, I'm sorry, Joe, but you got to go. We can't win with you because you've just been too far gone with the absent-minded shit. And it's like, I think it's the right thing, but the wrong thing. Number one, they shouldn't have even started him on this campaign. He was not mentally nor physically fit to do this anyway. But the fact that they started him down that path and then finally pulled the rug up from under him, I think that was fucked up. For somebody who went through all of the shit that he went through to do this, it's like y'all let him get this far and then y'all pulled the rug up under him. Even though I believe that had he kept running the way that he was running and going as much as he would have had to have been going to campaign, Joe Biden probably be dead. But this, I believe, it's like everybody knows that he wanted to run again. He was all in, especially his wife was too, because she was basically the fucking president. But it is what it is.
I never fully believed the assertions that somehow there was this overwhelming reluctance of my running again. My polling was about, we're always within range of beating this guy. I was confident I would beat Trump.
Listen,
He's a loser.
I mean, Kat, it's continually disingenuous, this whole thing, because everyone knows what happened. Everybody knows Nancy Pelosi went to him and basically said, we do this the easy way or the hard way. And he only stepped aside because they were going to go public and take him down. And his response when he's asked about Pelosi, I thought pretty much confirmed that. From what I've read, they haven't spoken since. Are they still just playing a bit of a game with everyone?
I don't know. I think it seemed to almost indicate that he's afraid of her a little bit.
Yes. He is. It's like like he should be. It's like as far as his political career and stuff is concerned, he absolutely couldn't have fought her because she had all of the backing, all of the donors. He would have stayed in that fight if he wouldn't have lost the money. Because that's essentially what she said. She was like, either you let this happen and step aside, or we're going to take the money away. You won't have any money to campaign anyway, and we're going to put it behind her. So you can kind of like leave gracefully, or you can leave being disgraced, because I believe that's what they were willing to do, more than willing to do. So that's why he was like fucked in that sense. It's like, the machine don't want you no more, bro. You out. That's just all it came down to.
I thought it was almost kind of adorable in a way. If someone had pushed me out of a presidency, I probably wouldn't be as nice about it, which means that whatever way he was pushed out is something that still affects him. I've always been, I disagree with her on so many things. I think that she's corrupt for so many reasons, but you do have to respect the level of power and fear that she instills in people.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at it, this is also, and I think a lot of people may not know this, but y'all do know that Nancy Pelosi is Gavin Newsom's auntie. Mm-hmm. Y'all do know that, right? Yep. That's Gavin Newsom's aunt. Here's the other kicker with this. Nancy Pelosi is what I believe. I believe she's setting her nephew up to run in 2028. That's just what I think, how the chess pieces are moving, the way that she pretty much turned over the state over to him when she left. I think that he's really going to be their candidate, their guy for 2028. Just saying.
She's extremely powerful. People are terrified of her.
Yes. And also she's extremely powerful, but she just out of the blue has a net worth of $200 million. How does someone who is a public servant, just working as a public servant in government, politician, how do you just out of the blue go from a $200,000 a year salary to $200 million? I don't know. Just saying.
Runs things and she does it with a sweet little smile. He still won't say anything. He's still saying, I think it also is quite sad that he's still saying that there's no evidence that, he couldn't have beat Trump, when really we all saw what happened.
It's interesting because there's another clip which I'll play, which is where Whoopi Goldberg calls Trump a bug, and then Biden responds. Take a look at this.
Then he just wouldn't go. He was like a bug. He just kept being there. He was like a bug right there. So you felt...
Emily, the reality of that is that it was the other way around. I mean, Biden was the bug on that debate stage who got completely flattened by, mainly himself and his inept performance, but also by Trump. So it's a kind of rewriting of history, albeit using little insects to do it.
I think it's safe, we can all agree bipartisanly that we knew what to expect come this interview. It was a very softball, fluff piece, non-hard-hitting interview that basically flattered Biden. He's not running for re-election. They were very low stakes. I think it was more of a feel-good piece. But Piers, that clip, what I took away from it was the insensitivity of that joke. You're saying that Trump is a bug, a fly, and you want to kill it. This is the same man who there were just 2 assassination attempts that actually shots were fired at him. So to make a joke that you want to kill it, the annoying bug flying in the room, and then they question why we say that the Democrats spread this dangerous rhetoric about Donald Trump that leads to these assassination attempts, that's the proof of exactly what it was.
So here's the thing with that. And from I'll just say this. It is what it is. You can't acknowledge, you have to acknowledge the fact that they literally do want Donald Trump dead. All of the people that are not just the politicians that are on the left or the Democrats, but the people who are Democrats, they literally want him dead. Literally. They're like, yeah. Do you realize? And here's why I say that, because nobody has even come close that is a Democrat has been truly appalled by this. They literally say what it is that is politically correct. This type of behavior has no place in our democracy. And that's it. The fact that this has been not the first, but the second attempt on a former president and currently running for president candidate, that this has never happened before. And the fact that this is not even close to being normal practice, but yet and still there is little to no press coverage, it lets you know they really want people to forget about it. That's it. That's all it is. So it's like they ultimately can't just come out and say it, but they are all coming out and saying it. They want him dead. If they didn't want him dead, they would have given him the resources as far as from Secret Service. They would have given him pretty much and could have given him the same level of security that Joe Biden has. They didn't. They could have given him the same level of security that a sitting president has. And here's my thing. Why wouldn't you do that? Because the attempt has been made on his life. Because they ultimately are like, yeah, if he got killed, it wouldn't be a bad thing. It wouldn't be the worst thing. It'd be bad, but it wouldn't be the worst thing. That's exactly how they're looking at it. And here's my thing. I remember when Barack Obama won that first time. When he was the president, there were threats made on his life. There were burning dolls that Republicans made, and they were saying that he wasn't an American. Even Donald Trump was one of the people who said, I want to see his birth certificate. So it was like, even with all of that being said, people were pissed. The fact that his birth certificate came up being questioned, and the fact that people hung dolls that were looking like Barack Obama, people were pissed off. Rightfully so, right? Where's that same energy for this type of behavior that we've seen? You won't see it because they literally don't give a shit. And they are okay with this type of behavior. And that's what's problematic to me, is that the fact that if it was the other way around, this would be just the worst thing ever. Just like how they talk about January 6th being a coup. There's never, ever been a fucking coup done without any type of military grade weaponry used, number one. Number two, the fact that the FBI is all over And I mean, all over the entire operation. There are FBI agents and assets throughout this whole thing, orchestrating the whole J6 thing. That being said, they still make it seem like J6 was just the worst and the darkest day ever in our history. But 2 assassination attempts on the president is it? And that's just, I just say it like this. That's exactly why I know what time it is. For someone to have this type of stuff happen, because how they should be looking at it is this. Because I'm not saying they're supposed to be like, oh, we care so much about Trump. Nope, shouldn't be saying that, because you don't. I get that. But the fact of the matter is they should be looking at it like this. If it can happen to him, it can happen to us. Period. Because if the shoe was turned, if the tables were reversed, everyone would be claiming how Donald Trump needs to double the security for Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. They need to double the security. Why wouldn't he do that? It's because he wants them dead. That's exactly what they would be saying. And the very thing that they would try to hold you accountable to is the very thing that they will not accept any responsibility or accountability for. And that is pretty much what the elite liberal leftists are on. Not all, but the elite liberal left. We tell you what to do. You don't tell us shit. We tell you how it goes. You don't say shit. Do what I said. I know what's best for you. And what's best for you is me running your shit. What's best for you is me governing and being in control of everything you got, and me giving you what I think you should have. And that in itself is my problem with the Democrats. Democrats, whatever you want to call them. Ultimately, that's what they do. Now, they'll tell you a bunch of other bullshit and give you a bunch of other spin around it all day long to make you feel good. But when it comes down to it, when it gets right down to it, that's essentially what they're telling you. I'm going to tell you what to do with your shit. You give it to me, and I'll tell you what to do with it. You give me your tax dollars, and I'll take 200 billion of it and send it over to the Ukraine. And tell you this is what we got to do with your money.
Now, the worst part is Biden did that so innocently, and he wasn't keen and sharp enough to understand how badly timed that joke was.
You know what, Francesca, I hadn't thought of it like that. It's just happened. But when Emily says that, the way she says it, she's got a point, isn't she?
Yeah, I think that should be your leadoff. You know, Biden equates Trump with bug. Isn't that the same as the right saying that there's going to be a bloodbath? And Mark Robinson, who somehow is still running for governor, saying that some people ought to be killed. Yeah, I love it. I was going to say, what about the flies? Like, what about bugs? Like, I feel like it's unfair to them. But I guess Emily just, you know, she only reserves those analogies when it comes to Palestinians. That's tight. Yeah, obviously this was going to be a...
I despise the smart mouth liberal left. I really do. Because they will say, especially when they're on the internet, when they're on the internets, they talk the most shit. And it just reminds me of what Mike Tyson said. Everybody got a plan until the motherfucker get punched in the mouth. And these liberal left Democrats are so fucking insulting. And they talk so much shit and would be the very ones, as soon as you hit them in the fucking mouth, will fall right in line. Men and women alike. Those are that chick right there in the middle. She's the same bitch that would run her mouth until she's at a Family Dollar and Takesha then had enough of her and punches her in the mouth. And the minute she does, all of the attitude all of the name calling, the insults, the thank you, Amanda, the condescending behavior, all of that shit goes out of the window. These people talk the most shit, and they think that it's so fucking cute, and they think they're so smart, and they think they just got it all figured out, just how reckless they run their mouths, and are the very ones, the minute you hit them in the mouth, the minute you go upside their head, then now they're back to life, back to reality, and then it's, I'm sorry. That's exactly who these people are. When you see these people running their mouths on the internet and they talking that shit, this is why, this is the bad thing about the internet. Because it lets people talk shit and talk reckless. And if they were face to face with another person, or with that person they're disagreeing with out in real life, they wouldn't be saying the shit that they say the way that they're saying it. Because everybody talks big and bad shit when you at home, sitting behind your computer on your keyboard. And it's not until it's only the people who've been out in the world, it's only the people who have been hit in the mouth, or those people who have hit people in the mouth, that understand the respect aspect of this. And they are the ones that understand, I don't have to talk crazy, I just need to articulate myself better. But she's definitely one of those people. Talk cash shit until she's in your face, until she gets hit in the mouth.
Softball interview. It was a softball interview, and people have to pretend and rewrite history. I mean, the thing about Biden, and this is really sad, is he was like, the polls were showing I was pretty good. No, they weren't. They literally weren't. And he sounded so Trumpian when he was like, well, the polls I've seen show me ahead. They weren't showing him ahead. And that's why, yes, Nancy Pelosi, super agree with Kat, right? Like, don't agree with Nancy on a lot of things, but she is a tough see you next Tuesday. And when she wants something done, she gets it done. It's either the easy way, or I don't even want to know what the hard.
Just for those of you who didn't catch that, she's a tough see you next Tuesday is basically saying she's a tough cunt. C-U-N-T. See you next Tuesday. That's what she was saying. Yeah. Yep.
Way was. I feel like it involves her Manolo Blahniks and a tray of baked ziti. Whatever it is, it's scary. So yeah. And the thing about Pelosi is this: she wants to win, and that's the thing about like a good politician. They do the thing that helps them win, unless obviously you're JD Vance or Donald Trump. But like, other than that, if you're smart,
man, D.A. Sheffield. Hey, look. He said, just like people talk crap to the police and cry when the cuffs. They don't cry when the cuffs come on. They cry when the cuffs on and they get in the back of that car. When they about to get in the back of that car, when they know, oh shit, I'm going to jail. Then there's, then it's that. That's when the motherfucker cry. Talk cash shit until that point. I know my rights. Get your hands off me. Don't touch me. What's your name? What's your badge number? Call your supervisor. Get me a sergeant, until it's click up, and that door open and they get in that car. Then now they back to reality. I just trying to talk to you. I ain't even have to do this to me. I don't know why y'all arrested me. I don't even know what I did. That's exactly how it is. It's never fails, dude.
You try to make the moves to get you to win. Getting Biden to step down was a move to get Democrats to win.
All right, Louise, let's play another clip. This is where he talks about being at peace with his decision, which actually he didn't take. But let's watch it.
It was only 2 months ago that you decided to step aside from seeking re-election, putting your country first above any personal ambition, and passing
Listen to him.
the torch to the vice.
I am at peace with my decision. Look, when I ran for this last term, I said that I saw myself as a transition president.
Yeah.
Transitioning to a new generation of leadership. Now, I know I only look 40, but I'm 180 years old.
You know, Louise,
When you say a transition president, when was you gonna transition, bro? That's my thing. That's the bullshit. You say you're a transition president. You didn't plan on saying, well, I'm gonna do 4 years, then I'm out. You didn't say that. You never said that. Your ass was gonna run them next 4, shitting on yourself, not knowing where you was at, talking about who's next, who's up next. You was gonna do that for another 4 years if they would have let you. So I don't even want to hear that. Transition my ass. There's no such thing as a fucking transition president. See how motherfuckers just make shit up? What the fuck is a transition president? Now, if he's gonna say, I was gonna do my 2 terms and then I was gonna fully endorse Kamala Harris or whoever else was next, fine. I was gonna help transition them into office, but you ain't no transition president. Basically saying, like, yeah, I was only gonna do it for a few years, then I was gonna let her have it. Nope, because you would have invoked the 25th on your own.
On one level, it's all quite nice and folksy and fun, and he goes on a very liberal skewed show, and they all cheer him and treat him like a hero. On the other, it reminded me that he is actually still president of the United States. He's still the guy with his finger on the nuclear trigger. He's still the most powerful guy in America, if not the entire world.
And y'all do know that I think it was last month. I want to say it was last month, put him as the most vacationing president ever. I think it was something like he's had over 300 and something days of vacation. Like it was like a year and then some of like his total vacation time. You can Google it, but he's the most vacationing president ever. He has been on vacation the most than any other president. That's just a little fun fact. So when you're talking about all the things that have occurred in this country, from COVID, the economy, the downturn in the economy, whatever the case may be, all of the shit that has happened, he has been the most vacationing president. I want to say this, he spent, it was like something like maybe 60% of his time on vacation, I guess.
And yet everyone assumes Kamala Harris is now running the show for the Democrats, not him. It's such a bizarre situation, isn't it? And it brings me to what I suspect might be not massively far-fetched, which is this growing theory that the big October surprise may be that he stands aside in October and allows Kamala Harris to assume the presidency to get her over the line.
I truly believe that. I have not, and I'm going to tell you this, I have literally thought that since they did the switch. And I just didn't want to say it because I didn't want to speak it into existence. And I'm still not saying it. But if I was her, I would have definitely done that. Definitely done that. But I believe that that was part of their deal as to why she's not doing it. Because I think like now it's kind of too late, and it would just be more of a formality type of thing, which wouldn't hold weight. But for her, had she done it immediately a while ago, once they made the decision, had they done it, it would have made a huge difference in her campaign. Yep. They really screwed the pooch and missed an opportunity on that one. Especially if they would have been done before the debate. Because you're going to have your people on the far right that are going to not like it, period. No matter how it happened, they was going to talk shit about it. But if they would have done it and technically she would have been it, that's why I ain't even saying it. If she would have technically been that, that I believe would have definitely helped her campaign. And that's all I have to say about that.
It's possible. I would be very surprised if he did that. He clearly didn't think that he should have been forced out of the race. I don't think he was dodging the question. I think he was admitting it, that Pelosi pushed him out of the race. That's what he was saying. I didn't buy what she was selling me, that I couldn't win.
Yeah, Calvin, I don't know what he said as far as that Mark Robinson thing. I don't know what he said, but I will say this. I'm so sick and tired of that bloodbath comment and it's like, that's one of the reasons why I just like cannot deal with this whole Democrat thing and the liberal left thing. They just blatantly, and it's not that they lie, because both sides lie. And it's like, it's shit I wish that Trump would stop saying. And then there's shit that I definitely think that I wish the Democrats would stop saying, but they're just gonna say it, even though it's not fucking true or it's just completely out of context. Like the shit Trump keeps saying, he shouldn't have never said the shit about the dogs and the cats. He just shouldn't have said that shit. It's like, because it is something that is occurring, but the fact that you aren't like leading a crusade against it, then what are you really bringing it up for? He could have just been like, they're eating animals and left it at that. But saying they're eating the dogs and the cats, it just sounds stupid. You know what I'm saying? So he shouldn't have said that. The other thing too, I wish he would stop saying is the abortion past 9 months. Dude, nobody's doing that. And I understand that you're saying that their point is extreme and they're on the extreme side of abortion, but there's no point in calling that out. They're even talking to one governor is always talking about after a full-term pregnancy and birthday, talking about abortion then. Yeah, he may have said it, and I don't even know to even hear the context in which he said it, but that's not happening. It's not happening. So it's like, why keep saying it? Now, what I think he should talk about when he talks about the abortion stuff, he should always, and anybody, and here's my thing, when you talk to these people about abortion, when you talk to these people about Roe versus Wade, all you need to do is start out your debate or the conversation with this. Barring the people that get raped, barring the people that have medical induced abortions, which is less than 1% of the abortions that occur. Less than 1%. It's literally so minute, it's not even a point of contention. So give them that. Yeah, so if y'all want to have an abortion because you got raped, fill out a police report and open an investigation, you get your abortion. You say that you had some issue and you're hemorrhaging on the inside and they're either going to let you hemorrhage and bleed to death or you have an abortion, fine. Fine. Let's talk about the other 99% of abortion, which is basically just bitches being reckless with their pussies. There's two, and this is one of the main reasons why I'm like, yeah, it should be a state thing. Because number one, there are too many, and I mean entirely too many contraceptives out here to where you don't have to get pregnant, to where you don't have to have an abortion. It's just that women want to just be reckless and irresponsible. Women like the fact that they can just be that sexually irresponsible. And if we kill a baby doing it, then so be it. There's no reason a bitch should be having 4 and 5 abortions. And she's only 25. Get on the pill. Take a plan B. Why do you have to have that right to murder? Because here's the other thing. You bitches are always head on, straight up, 10 toes down for men being forced to take care of the baby that you decide to keep. So my thing is this. If y'all having abortions in New York, then just go live in New York. Do you know why I don't live in LA? It is literally because LA is too liberal for me. So I decide to not live there. And let whoever who is, let them go. What a dumbass take. Still mine. Is that illegal? Is it against the law? Or do you just disagree with it? Why can't you just be an adult and just be sexually responsible? Whether you can, you want to debate it and say, hey, it's just a clump of cells. Not. It's not. The fact is, it is murder. Fine. I said, let it go. Let it go, Amanda. So it's like, if you're going to do that, then why not just be a little bit more responsible? That's all it is. Just be a little bit more responsible. You don't have to have a cream pie by a man who you don't want to have a baby with. It's just like when I did the thing about what was that? The women who were going on Tinder. Was that Tinder or the dating website, whichever one it was. And they were going off with men getting raped, going off with men that they have never met before, 2-3 hour rides. Who in the fuck in their right mind does that? Yeah, but he was a really hot fireman. So you got into a car with a man that you have never met before for the first time to take a 2-hour drive out in the woods. Why would you do that? And then you're shocked at the fact that he tells you, we're not going back home till you give me some ass. As soon as I walked in the door in his house, he started just kissing me and taking my clothes off. Why would you go to the house of a man whom you've never met before? You've never been on a date. And the first time that you go out with this man, you go to his house. Who in the fuck does that? Why would you do that? So it's like, just as dumb of a take you think I may have an abortion, I believe that the decisions that a lot of women make are even dumber. If I'm going to have unprotected sex, why not just take a plan B? Why not just take a plan B? Because I just don't want to. I want to be an irresponsible bitch. And if I got to get my uterus scraped out 7 or 8 times, so be it. I want to be able to do what I want to be able to do. And if I got to kill some fuckers in between in the line of me doing that, so be it. It's like, I don't understand why you would put yourself in that situation. But if you get pregnant by a rich dude, you gonna have his kid en masse. How often does that shit happen? Exactly. The fact that you're willing to have a child with a person that you don't even know and that don't want you, don't want to be with you, don't want to build a life with you, and don't want you to have their child, you're still willing to do it. However, somebody who does want to have a child with you, who does want to be with you, you'll kill that baby, but you'll keep the other one because you can get money for it. It's incentivized. That's the difference. And that lets you know that when it comes to that shit, like abortion, they don't give a shit. Because if a woman really cared anything about human life, she wouldn't put herself in a situation to where she would have to choose to kill a baby or not, because she would just be a little bit more sexually responsible. Sorry. That's just what it is.
So I don't think he's going to give up the last few months of power. And if he does, I don't think it will have an effect on the race at all. Kamala Harris has got an unusual advantage here. She's got half of an incumbency advantage, and she doesn't have to go and be vice president. You know, Joe Biden's in the White House. He's taking care of business. He wore a Ukrainian and American flag on his lapel today. And indeed, this afternoon, he's going to announce a huge package of reconstruction aid for Ukraine at the United Nations, I think.
So Calvin said Trump needs to talk about how child support can be unfair sometimes. No, you know who needs to talk about it? Men. Men need to talk about this child support shit. And you know why? Because it's men that instituted this shit. It's men that put men in this position to where they literally have no rights when it comes to their finances once they get a woman pregnant. It's simps that have allowed this to take place. That's just what it is. And the fact that we have a system that incentivizes and rewards women to have children out of wedlock is the problem. And until that goes away, it will continue to be a problem. And that unfortunately, that's just how it is.
I think, and that's why he had that on. He's still president. He's still in charge of the country. And I think what we saw today was a guy that's relaxed and actually enjoying himself. Even if he was annoyed at being pushed out, now the pressure's off. He can crack all these jokes. He seems to be having a good time, what we would call in Britain, D-mob happy. And I think he deserves it. I hope he does enjoy these last few months in power. I would be really shocked if he walked away from that voluntarily.
Yeah, but it's not, you know...
Or even involuntarily.
The thing is, Kat, it's not like, you know, this is... Running America, it's not supposed to be a tea party where you spend your weekends on the beach and, you know, you pop into The View and have a bit of a laugh with the thing. It's supposed to be an incredibly demanding, relentless job requiring extraordinary feats of endurance and mental agility, isn't it?
To be fair, Piers, sorry, before Kat jumps in, Congress is taking a 2-month break this week. So say what you will about American politicians. Honestly, sometimes they leave you high and dry, but go ahead.
All right, but the American president doesn't take a break. Kat.
Exactly. I was just about to say, that ain't got shit to do with the president. Unless he's trying to get a law or something bad, it's too much shit going on for him to be like, yeah, I'm just going to take this off.
Yeah, every time but still, I mean, I think we've been conditioned kind of for a while. I mean, I feel like Joe Biden for a while, we didn't see a lot of him, even when we were being told that he was also going to be able to continue to be the president for another 4 years. I was among people who thought years ago that was unclear, because years ago, or clear that he wouldn't, rather, because years ago he was looking for dead people in a crowd, right? To me, I look at that, I say, that's concerning. At this point, though, whenever I hear his name, as awful as it is, in my head, the first thing that I think of is, oh, yeah, that guy. Even though he is presumably the acting president, I don't think.
And here's my thing. It's so much other shit going on. It's so much shit going on. You talking about, you got the war in Ukraine. You talking about what's going on with just the war in Ukraine and Israel alone is more than enough. What the fuck is he doing?
At this point, there's clearly been a team of people who've been taking care of this, whatever this is.
Who is actually brokering those two fronts? Who's on those two fronts right now?
with Jake Tapper.
If he's not taking care of Israel and he's not taking care of Ukraine, you talking about dealing with Russia and Ukraine. You talking about dealing with Russia and China. You talking about dealing with Israel and Hezbollah, all of this shit that's going on. You are literally, the world stage is set to potentially be in a position to where World War III can start. And this motherfucker's on the beach on vacation. Just saying.
I've got a lot of time for Jake. I think he's great at what he does, but she even gave him the old death treatment. Look at this.
They laugh at us all over the world. They're laughing at us. And you know what they're really laughing at? Kamala, because they can't believe that she's going to be president. They can't believe. You talk about cognitive problems? She's got bigger cognitive problems than he has, in my opinion.
Donald Trump saying that Kamala Harris has bigger cognitive problems than Joe Biden.
Why would you even cover that? This is a person who's not on the level. He is their nominee for president. He is incompetent. Let's not even talk about the silliness of it all and the weirdness of it all and the assault on women that it is. We're not going to talk issues.
Join Jake, look.
How is that an assault on women? And that shit kills me, how in our country, women are allowed to be on both sides. Helpless and defenseless, however, they're strong and they're just as good or better than men. How can you be both at the same time? How do you get to do both? I can be defenseless and being attacked, but I can also be strong and tough as nails. How is it that Donald Trump is incompetent? It's like we've gotten to a point to where in politics and just in conversation period, you can just say anything, even though it's not true. And the fact that somebody can prove that it's not true, that doesn't matter either. That doesn't matter either. That's the fact that you're able to just say anything, and then when you get fact checked, that still doesn't matter. It's beyond problematic. It's dangerous. And she's telling him, why would you even cover that? Why are you even saying anything about this? Why would you even repeat that? He's incompetent. He's not with it. Okay.
Terrified there, Kat.
Yeah, I mean, he's covering it because it's the campaign for the presidency. So but again, I mean, I think that she had an opportunity where she could have slammed Trump, which she did, but to suggest that he couldn't cover it, I mean, look, that's the kind of thing that Trump says about people. It's this kind of thing that some people who really support him really like, but that it's also the kind of thing that makes people wary to support him.
It's the thing that here's the thing that I like, because Trump doesn't say everything the right way. Trump doesn't say everything that we want to hear. Trump doesn't say everything in a polished, classy way. And my point is this: I don't think he should have to. I don't think any of us should have to. I think we should be able to say what it is that we want and articulate ourselves in a way to where, hey, it may not be the thing that makes you feel good, but it's definitely me getting my point across. Because I am tired of politicians making me feel good. It's just like people who go to church and only go and listen to prosperity preachers. So damn the Bible and its commandments. Damn all of the things that I'm supposed to be doing to be a better Christian. Nope. Just tell me stuff that's going to make me feel good. Tell me that no matter what I do, I'm going to be all right because God loves me and he going to make sure that I get blessed. Same thing. And that's why so many black folks love these types of politicians. You don't really have to say nothing. Just say something to make me feel good. Just like my man from Players Club. Just make me feel good. They're like Halle Berry. Can you make me feel good? 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 That's it. Just make me feel good at all costs. Lie, cheat, steal, kill. I don't give a fuck what you do. Just make me feel good. And you have my undying loyalty and allegiance. If you can make me feel good, I'm sold. Fuck the truth. Fuck honesty, integrity, loyalty, none of that. Just make me feel good. That's all I want. That's where we've gotten to. Whether it's our parents, our preachers, our politicians, we all want the same thing from them. Make me feel good. Don't tell me shit that I did wrong. Don't tell me shit that I should have did. Don't hold me accountable. Don't hold me responsible. Just make me feel good. Tell me I did good. Tell me I'm the best. I know I didn't deserve it. I didn't earn it. Just tell me. And that's why we're in the position that we're in today. Because we are in a position, we've gotten to a point where we just give people shit as opposed to people earning the shit that they get. You give a kid a pair of Jordans and they're going to fuck them up like they're a free pair of gym shoes. You make a kid work and earn the money and go buy their own Jordans, they'll take care of it because it's theirs and they earned it and they know what it took in order for them to get it. So therefore, they have a different level of respect for it. I didn't get my first pair of Jordans until I was 19 years old. My mother couldn't afford Jordans. And she said, I ain't buying no $150 pair of shoes because I can't afford it. So I had to get a job myself. And then I had to go get my own pair of Jordans. And you know what? I had a whole different level of respect for those Jordans. When I wore them Jordans and I was at a party and a motherfucker stepped on my Jordans, had that motherfucker not been so apologetic, he'd have got his ass whooped. Because he didn't know what I went through to have to get those Jordans. He didn't know what I went through to earn, work, save, and do what I had to do to get those Jordans. So it mattered. Whole different level. And then somebody just gave them to me and said, hey, man, here you go. These are free.
I think that a lot of people in his corner probably wish he would stick to policy and stick to pointing out, hey, I'm running against not someone who's the opposition, but somebody who's in office right now. But how many years have we been doing this where we've learned that that's that advice that no matter how much people give it to him, he's probably not going to take it? Yeah, and interestingly, Kamala Harris is going to be spiking Biden's view guns tonight when she goes on MSNBC, obviously, which is an extremely left-wing Democratic supporting network. So a real easy home run for her. But that will take all the attention away from Biden. Yep. Francesca, I want to play you a clip of Donald Trump talking about how you protect women. This was at a rally in Pennsylvania on Monday.
You will be protected, and I will be your protector. Women... Women will be happy, healthy, confident, and free. You will no longer be thinking about abortion. It's all they talk about, abortion, because we've done something that nobody else could have done. It is now where it always had to be, with the states and a vote of the people.
And that is my biggest thing with this. Everybody saying he's going to ban abortion. He's going to get rid of abortion and women are dying because of it. What's wrong with it being in the States? What's wrong with it being on the state level? Because there are some states that are against abortion. That means there's enough people that live in that state to where they're like, we don't want to kill babies here. And then there are states that are pro-abortion, where there's enough people there that says we absolutely want to be able to kill babies here. What is wrong with people just being in the state that supports what it is that they want? Like I said earlier, I would never move to California. Never. Because beautiful state, incredible weather, but I don't want to deal with the homeless. I don't want to deal with the taxes. I don't want to deal with the far left liberalism. I don't want to deal with that. So why would I go and live there just to complain? Totally respect what they want to do. Go ahead. Y'all want to have a bunch of homeless people living on your streets? Y'all want to have a bunch of dope fiends out walking around? You want to have your Skid Row multiplied by 6, 7, 8 times over? Hey, no problem. You want to take away everybody's guns where they can't carry a gun there? They can only have a 10-round magazine. All that shit. You want to make their cost of living through the roof. You want to overtax them for every goddamn thing you possibly can. Hey. Great place to visit, but I would never live there. Let y'all have it. I just would not ever live there just because, like I said, fantastic place. But because of the way that they run the city and the way that the society and the culture is in California, I would never live there.
Jessica, do you feel that Donald is your big protector? You're looking forward to being protected by him?
How much time do you have? Yeah, I like how this is just an ad for like Stepford Wives 2025. You won't be thinking about abortion because we'll do mass lobotomies. Like, no, thank you. Why does this sound like less of a promise and more of a threat, right? Like, and yeah, he's right. He did something no other politician could do. He's increased maternal mortality rate by exorbitant rates. Over in Texas, 56% of pregnant women have been facing mortality rates because the hospitals do not want to treat their very, very treatable.
She said mortality rates. Not that they're dying, mortality rates. Do you understand that these people love to talk about issues with no real numbers and no real data? They either make it up or they won't mention it at all, but they still grandize it. That's what they like to do. I'm not going to look at the hard numbers and the data. Nope. I'm just going to make it seem like it's really bitty bad and it's really a whole lot of whatever.
Conditions. Again, these are people who want to be parents. These are not people who are seeking abortion. But then we talk about those women, let's say in Georgia, who have died because hospital workers, because of the overturning of Roe v. Wade, are too afraid to perform necessary life-saving procedures on women. So yeah, I love this, like.
What's the percentage of that though? And this is why you know it's such a small percentage that they won't say it. Because let's just say if it was extreme, if it was 85%, they would be wearing fucking t-shirts and headbands that say 85%. But because it's so low to where it's really not even a factor in the grand scheme of the population of just our country, that's why they won't say it. It's so disingenuous.
Weird promise, you're not going to be thinking about it anymore. Like, for all this, like, you know, anti-Haitian rhetoric, he's sure doing weird voodoo mind tricks on all of us. Like, I don't want a protector. Thank you. Least of all you, man who hung out with Jeffrey Epstein and P. Diddy.
That's not true. She literally just made some shit up. Actually, and the truth of the matter is, he actually got into it with Jeffrey Epstein. Got into it with him. Now, I don't know about Diddy, because that was the first time I heard this. She's saying that he hung out with Diddy. I don't know about that one. But I can tell you with Jeffrey Epstein, he didn't like Jeffrey Epstein. But she gets to say it.
No thanks, pass, hard pass.
Emily, what do you feel about Donald the Protector for all women?
I think, excuse me, I forgot her name. She's just a clear face
Francesca
of what
Fiorentini, host
TDS,
of the Bituation
Trump
Room
derangement
podcast.
syndrome is. Because, excuse me, can you hear me? She's a clear portrait of what TDS is, because you have Donald Trump, who everyone claims wants to get rid of abortion, who wants to violate women's reproductive rights, go out there and reassure everyone. Like he said numerous times, I do not plan on taking this right away from you. I will protect you. Women do feel unsafe today. The whole country.
And here's my thing. How many women out there are still of age to where they can get pregnant? And then when you talk about the amount of women that would still want to have an abortion or be able to have an abortion, comparing that to say, hey, where you live, do they have it? Like if you take the people that actually could say, I could potentially want an abortion one day, where is it that you live to where you're like just terrified that won't happen? Or where can't you move to if it's really that important to you to be able to be sexually irresponsible and reckless to where you want to just be able to get scraped? Why would you not just say, well, I need to move to New York. I need to move to Chicago where they're doing it right outside the DNC. Why wouldn't you just go there if it's that important to you? It's just like people who move to places because they want to be able to smoke marijuana. Marijuana's legal and they want to be able to grow it and smoke it. Why not just move there? It's not legal here in Texas. So why not just move there?
Is in a state of lawlessness. So here he is reassuring you that everything's going to be okay, but somehow you'll manage to spin that into something negative and make a comedic skit out of it when this is exactly what the people need to be hearing. But then again, you have TDS, so I understand.
Louise, what do you feel about Trump? I mean, look, there's no doubt that for every woman that doesn't like Trump in America, there's pretty much a woman who loves him. That's what all the polling says. I mean,
that's so unscientific, Piers. That is such a load
that's
of
not what the
horse
polling
crap,
says.
dude.
If I could just,
that is
not what it says. There is a
you
huge.
Just literally.
And there she goes. She's just trying to manipulate the whole fucking conversation. He literally asked her, the lady in the orange shirt, he asked her opinion because she already spoke. Asian blue jean lady, she already spoke. So why not let her have an opportunity to speak? Because she's been sitting there quiet the whole time and you've been running your mouth the whole time.
Lead for Kamala Harris amongst women.
Look.
Wait, there is a huge lead for Kamala Harris among women. Absolutely huge. In fact, that's what Trump opened with. I gather that some women don't like me. I don't know why. I think I'm great. Well, thanks, Captain Bone Spurs. But I don't need you. The real Trump derangement syndrome is thinking that Trump could protect anybody. And if you want to talk about seeing dead people the way that Kat did the other day, Trump literally said, bring back Johnny Carson to the Tonight Show. The man's been dead for years.
You see, but that's okay, but that's no.
And this is the first time Piers actually checked this bitch, essentially, because her motherfucking fat face ass just made some shit up out the blue and just blowing it out of proportion. Blowing it out of proportion and taking some shit and just she flat out fucking lies and watch him check her.
Biden who did
Hang on. That's a classic example of where the Trump loathers get so deranged, they deliberately misrepresent what actually got said and what happened. I watched that clip in its entirety and he knows Johnny Carson's dead. He was making the point, I wish we had Johnny Carson to bring back. He never said
That's not what he said, Piers.
He never said he thinks he's...
That's not what he said, Piers. He absolutely implied that. But what is she going to do? Oh, I'm going to keep fucking lying and I'm going to make it be the worst thing possible.
Nobody watching it thinks Trump thinks he's still alive. But it's a bit like it's a bit like the bloodbath thing, right?
It's not.
Isn't it? It's a bit like the bloodbath thing.
Now she's saying he's senile. Isn't it something how when Joe Biden was running, no one on that side would ever even remotely come close to saying senile or senility? dementia, none of that. Now he's senile. He absolutely didn't even come close to being what she's saying he is, as far as saying he wanted to bring back Johnny Carson. She's taking it out of context and she's just saying, that's what he said. That's what he said. I just say what he said. I can't stand just disingenuous people. They are truly just the worst of us when it comes to a society. You're intentionally being disingenuous.
Well, we're all led to believe by Kamala Harris in that debate that Trump warned if he doesn't win, there'll be a bloodbath. And we all have this imagery of, wow, everyone's going to be dying. And then you remember, hang on.
No, shut up.
Calm down, lefties.
Shut up.
Calm down.
Shut up.
And then you remember that actually he was talking about a bloodbath in the automobile industry. Very different. Kat.
And that's exactly what he said. He was saying the bloodbath because he did say bloodbath. However, in the context he was using it in was saying that because Kamala Harris and Joe Biden want to get rid of all gas-operated cars. They want to have every car to be electric fueled. And he said if they do this, the auto industry would be murdered. It would be a bloodbath. They would kill the auto industry. What did they do? He said it's going to be a bloodbath. If they win, it's going to kill people. They are just the worst. And the reason why, and I was going to end the show with this, but I'll probably do it again, but I'll bring this point back. The reason why they make so much bullshit up is because there's not enough shit for them to actually disagree with. That's why they harp on abortion. You see, they're not talking about our economy plan is going to be better than Trump's. Nope. Our border plan is better than Trump's. Nope. Our entire political agenda is better than Trump's. Nope. They don't say any of that because they literally don't have one. So all they're doing is saying, well, let's just keep talking about him because we ain't got shit for the people.
Let me ask you this. You've written this brilliant book. Everything I could read your stuff for the next 20 calendar years on repeat because you are such a refreshing, different voice out there. And you've written the perfectly timed book. I used to like you until how binary thinking divides us. And we're seeing a bit of that in this debate today. For those of you who haven't read the book, and if they haven't, they should go and buy it. In fact, you end at the end by saying, by the end of this book, you'll be reminded of this reality and also see how the more divided and tribal and polarized we become, the more we'll lose. We'll miss out on opportunities to connect or even collaborate, all while people in power over us turn us against each other for their own gain, which is so true. But we've got to a place, driven and fueled by social media, I believe, where tribalism is so intense that even when people are presented with clear factual evidence of what they're saying is wrong, they're not going to deviate. They don't care about facts. And as a result, the hostility between people over stuff in the news, whether it's Trump or Ukraine or Israel, whatever it is, it's so intensely aggressive and unpleasant that we see families breaking up over this stuff. You know, friends and families being split in two. Yeah. How have we got here and what's the solution?
Yeah, I'm glad I wrote this book at this time, even though it is a risky book to come out with during this time when everybody just wants to hear about how bad and evil the other side is, therefore making them automatically good just because they're not on that side. This book is really a guide for how to talk to people who might.
And that's my thing. It's like they have taken that position. However, I will say the people that are on this side, the Republicans, we actually do have points to debate. Statistical data. We can say, hey, here's the economy plan. Hey, here's what we're going to do around this or around that. They don't have any of that. They just like, it ain't Trump. That's it. It's not Trump. That's why I'm voting for her. I'm voting for her because she's not Trump. I'm voting Kamala Harris because she's not Trump. That's your reason to vote for someone. because they're not the other person. I would have more respect for you to not vote at all than to say I'm voting because of that. That's stupidity at its finest. Because you're not even concerned with having someone explain to you why they should get your vote. You're just willing to vote for them because they're not the other person that you don't like. Ain't got shit to do what they did to you. Ain't did nothing to you. You don't know them personally. You just don't like them because that's what the media told you to do. The media told you not to like this person, so that's why you don't like them. Black folks ain't never had a problem with Donald Trump until he became president.
Though, because all you do on this show is play off social media algorithms to get people to fight. You lead with it in the cold open and you get the clicks. And if you don't hit a mill, you never ask that person back. You literally play the game that Kat is decrying. And I think that I love the idea, especially I love Kat's book and the way it targets women, because specifically women are the ones who, it's like, if we say one thing that you don't like, I hated you from the beginning, right? Women are extra vulnerable to this, especially online.
How could these women be vulnerable if they're so strong and independent? Why would you feel the need to say that you're vulnerable?
But Piers, stop pretending like you think there's something wrong and we can't. Why can't we reach
Francesca,
across
there's
the
one
aisle and hold
central.
hands? Because your
there's a
whole
flaw.
algorithm is based
Francesca,
on it.
it's
Your
a
whole
lovely
model
the
is
same
based
thing.
on it.
Francesca,
This is how you know someone literally don't have a point to make, when they just keep repeating the same thing. So she's on this man's show telling him that he's basically doing this for the algorithm, and that if it don't hit 1 million views, you won't be back. And that's all he's doing. Clicks. Meanwhile, this bitch has a podcast, which I'm quite sure she's trying to get clicks. She's definitely trying to ride the algorithm wave. Aren't we all? My channel's not even fucking monetized anymore, but I'm still creating content. And what does that mean so what if he wants 1 million likes or 1 million clicks? He should want that. Who the fuck wouldn't want 1 million views? Fuck you going live for? Fuck you creating content for if you don't want millions of people to give you millions of views?
it's a lovely statement that will get you lots of clicks from your followers,
Exactly.
and that's why you've just delivered your little monologue. However, it's
Bro,
based on
I'm
a.
here.
Wait a
I'm
minute.
here on this
You've
panel
had your
for
say.
free.
It's based on an
and
entire. It's based on a false premise.
I do not have nearly the following that you do.
You
I'm
don't
just trying to
normally
point
get.
out your own
Wait a minute.
hypocrisy.
You don't normally.
She's hating on his following. Pocket watching. That's like the nigga that says, yeah, all you do, man. Yeah, man, I know you got money now, but all you do is go buy expensive shit, man. Wearing fancy clothes and got fancy cars and houses and shit. Man, that's all you do. You know what I'm saying? Well, wouldn't you do it if you had it too? I'm just saying, though, it's just, you kind of being a hypocrite, talking about finances and people doing the right thing with their money when all you doing is taking your money and buying the shit that you want because it's your money that you got, that you worked hard for, or that was given to you. I'm just saying, man, it's hypocrisy. All right.
Get 1 million views for me, but I still invite you back. So that can't be true. I do it as an act of charity because I like.
You don't get him 1 million views, bitch, but you've been on here several of times. So what does that say? Again, bitch just lying, just saying something for the sake of saying something because she wants the clicks, likes, and views that Piers get.
Thank you.
I check the sets. You know I crush. You know I crush Piers.
I like having you on because you're so annoying.
Right.
Same.
Piers, can
Actually, you don't have him on. He has you on, but okay.
I add something?
Yes.
I wanted to respond to Luis, and Luis, you know I adore you. I just really happen to think it's a little pathetic that a lot of the left will use complete fabrications about Trump to support their narrative, to support their policies, to support Kamala Harris, rather than using her strengths. If you feel like she has any, please go ahead and
about the other side.
Yes, that's true, but they also bolster their own points. She's correct. They do. Both sides do that. However, the right actually has points. The left doesn't. That was her point.
They would. Okay, I'll give you a clear cut
like
example.
the Haitians are eating cats and dogs,
the
those
View
kinds
sent
of fabrications.
That's actually true, but I don't know. What is she saying? That's actually true. So yes, the Haitians are over there and they have been eating animals. But because that is not a felony crime, it's not being reported. It's literally an animal control issue. That's why they're saying we don't have any evidence of that. The police have not said anything like that happening. Fine. But that doesn't mean that it's not happening. They are eating the fucking geese. It is what it is. I tell you what, you let me go hungry enough, I'll eat a motherfucking geese. A goose. Let me be hungry and let me find a duck. I'll be having duck. Same thing. But they make shit up. He said it's going to be a bloodbath. Yeah, that's not what he said, but you're taking it out of context. I'm just saying what he said. Okay, tell me something that Kamala Harris has said besides joy and y'all feeling better and y'all are going to be unburdened by what's been. Tell me the last time y'all said that. Anything besides that bullshit that she says.
Back it up with facts. I'll back it up with facts. No, they both do. I'm pointing out a specific example from The View today. So they spent an entire segment talking about the filibuster that is going to be debated between the six of them, whether it should be removed or not to protect women's reproductive rights. They wasted an entire segment talking about something that Trump already said he wouldn't do.
Exactly.
So, and if you think that helps Kamala Harris, it does, but you're lying about something that Donald Trump had said and done.
Here's the other thing to this. Why would Donald Trump have the abortions put back to the states just so he could turn back around and just come with an abortion ban? Wouldn't you just ban it? And here's the other thing. Because it's on the state level, there's no reason for him to come up with a federal ban. It's so fucking stupid. If he wanted to ban it, he would have banned it from the federal level from the beginning. So Calvin says, if Trump wins, can he get his policies passed through Congress? That will be a real battle with Congress. So as long as motherfuckers go and vote, and not just vote presidential, but vote the whole ballot, between what Congress and the Senate will be, he'll have enough, but he'll also be able to do a lot of the major stuff through executive order, like pipeline shit, drill baby drill, that kind of shit, finishing the wall. That's all executive order shit. So it's like those things will have direct impact on us as far as border security and all that shit. He's going to do that day one with executive orders.
And my point is that how come you need to resort to lies instead of things that Kamala has as strengths?
They're saying they're going to get rid of the filibuster because Kamala says it's not what Trump's going to do. Kamala says that she will bring in a national abortion measure permitting abortion, just like Roe. Before Roe was overturned, she will legislate it. It will be a law. And she is saying that we'll get rid of the filibuster on the positive side so that you can't stop me from making abortion a national right.
And that's the thing. They don't have enough in the Senate or the Congress to do that. Shit's not going to happen. It's literally just not going to happen. So, whatever.
I tell you as a Harris supporter.
That was the whole thing. There are not enough states. There are not enough senators that would vote that in, especially when you're talking about the states that are anti-abortion. Makes no sense. Oh, fuck. I did not try to do that.
We are losing so much.
Media algorithms.
Trump to support their narrative no, they both do. I'm pointing out a specific example from The View today. So they spent an entire segment talking about the filibuster that is going to be debated between the six of them, whether it should be removed or not to protect lies instead of things that Kamala has as strengths.
Tell you as a Harris supporter, all I want all day long is for Donald Trump to talk about abortion. Please keep talking about it.
But when you
Please.
do talk about
it's a winning issue for us.
But Louise, when
he
people
did.
talk about when people talk about
he
Trump
has.
when people talk about Trump and abortion, I constantly hear from Kamala Harris and everyone on the left and the Democrats that Trump wants a national abortion ban. He has never said that.
She tweets it almost every single day.
He's repeatedly denied that. He has no desire to do that. In fact, whenever he's mused about what he thinks any kind of federal, obviously he's proud he's returned to the States. Fine, that may or may not be the right call. That's down to Americans. But he has said openly he thinks a 15-week term limit sounds about right. That puts him in line with most moderate European countries on abortion. He's not.
Now, he just basically stated his own position on abortion. Listen to this bitch.
Not an abortion extremist. To pretend he is, and to deliberately misuse anything he said about this issue is just very disingenuous.
I think
Piers,
so too,
two
Piers,
things,
and
two
I agree
things
with
if I
you.
And I
may,
say
because
that as somebody,
I was asked about
I
this.
say
I'd
that
like
as
to
somebody, by
answer
the
it.
way, who supports
I would
a
like to
woman's
answer it.
right to choose what she wants to do with her body, and we men should stick out of it. That is my personal position. But I don't like to see Trump regularly, deliberately misquoted about this when there's evidence to the contrary.
Piers, can I just say something? He picked J.D. Vance to be his vice president. He
Yeah.
is an elderly man. Any way you cut it, if he dies in office, just of natural causes or whatever, J.D. Vance becomes the president. And J.D. Vance has said on the record many times that he, Vance, supports a national abortion plan. Now, it doesn't matter
then say
whether
it about
Trump does
J.D.
or not,
Vance.
Piers.
Then fine,
Piers,
and quote
by
J.D.
sending
Vance.
it back to the,
Don't
but he's on
pretend
the
it's
ticket.
Trump's. Don't
He's
pretend
on
it's
the
Trump's
ticket.
position.
But he's
And
never
by-
committed
it doesn't
to
matter whether
veto it.
Trump
Do you know
says
what
it
I'm
or
saying,
not. He
Piers?
sent
He's
it
never
back
said
to the
he's been
states,
asked if he
and
would
that
veto
means
it.
that
And the other thing, by the way,
And my thing is this: why do they think that this is going to be at the forefront of the country? Out of all of the shit we got going on, this is going to be this is here. We got to do this right away. And here's the thing: she's making a fucking statement based on what might happen. And in order for this thing to even possibly even be remotely something to even be talked about, Trump got to die and be out of office. And we're talking about a president a man who has literally been a fucking machine for the past 2 years doing these rallies and traveling the fucking country to actually campaign. And now all of a sudden, out of the blue, he's just going to drop dead. And then once he does that, J.D. Vance is going to take over, and that's just going to be it. They're going to take care of all of our rights. He's going to get rid of that. We won't be able to do it. Like, stop it. Out of all of the shit that you got to say, this is the plan. This is what's keeping you up at night. Trump got to get elected. Then Trump got to die. Then J.D. Vance got to become president. And then there possibly could be a bill that would have to get passed by the House and the Senate in order to get to his desk to ban abortion. Like, get the fuck out of here. It's not going to happen.
The other thing Francesca, hang on. The other thing Francesca likes to hang on.
I think it's a really important
The other thing
point.
Francesca likes to bang on about is the way Trump has personally packed the Supreme Court with conservative judges. And you know what I think? Why didn't the Democrats get their act in order and persuade their judges on that court to step aside when they could have replaced them with younger people? The truth is, you allowed yourselves as a party to be lassoed by people who went on way too long, and that created an opportunity for Trump to pack the court, as the Democrats would do if they got the chance every single time.
They absolutely would have done it. And they are literally just mad because they didn't. Fucking Ruth Bader Ginsburg should have retired, and fucking Scalise should have retired while they were in office. when Obama was in office. They should have left then. But they didn't. And Ruth died in office, and so did Scalise too, didn't he? Or Scalia, not Scalise. So what do you want? What do you want to do? I mean, what can I do? Y'all wouldn't step aside. So there you go. I'm glad he did get to appoint him.
That's right.
They
Don't
attempted
lose.
to,
Don't
except
lose elections.
Mitch
So we're not going to
McConnell
lose this one.
prevented Obama from confirming Merrick Garland. And I think what Louise is saying is, look, you can imagine, okay, a second Trump administration, what would it be like? What would it be like for women? We don't have to, because it's happening right now, where people are bleeding out in their cars from having miscarriages that should be treated and attended to. They're losing their ability to ever have children again.
Do you hear this? This fraction of a percentage of people that this could, they don't have no numbers and no data and no names, but just potentially could be happening to. This is the point. They're so full of shit, it's ridiculous.
Right, because hospital workers are more concerned with bureaucracy than
Francesca.
people's lives.
Okay, look.
So, Piers, don't interrupt me as you're talking about abortion rights and you say you support a woman's right to choose. Shut up and listen. As someone who's a mom.
Now that right there, Piers, you officially moved into the cook standpoint. Because I'd be like, hold on, bitch. You're not going to tell me to shut up on my fucking show. If you feel the need to talk to me like that on my show, you need to click off and you need to leave. Because if he would have said that shit to her, everybody would have lost their mind. How dare you talk to a woman like that? He was so disrespectful. But she get to tell him to shut up. Yeah, nah, bitch. No way.
As someone who could have died herself, okay? It's time for you to shut up and listen to the women who are telling you loud and clear, we are dying out here. You're putting our lives on the line out here.
Actually, if they were dying, they wouldn't be able to say that they're dying because they'd be dead. But I digress.
Women in red states, women in blue states, women all over. It doesn't matter whether we love Trump or we hate Trump. The effect of overturning Roe v. Wade is the same. Our lives are on the line, okay?
Yeah.
And
You do realize that each state could simply say, well, if it's medical, you can have an abortion. And that's all every person who actually has or makes an argument for abortion, they are literally talking about that less than 1% of people who, potentially would need an abortion. Less than 1%. Less than 1% is who you're making your argument for. Less than 1%. Who does that? How do you even have a point if you're talking about less than 1%? How do you make a point talking about less than 1%? You could literally make a contention to say, well, whatever states are banning abortion, we would just like to have it resolved to where this less than 1%, if they meet this medical criteria, then they can have it. Other than that, no. Nope. But when you want to use that less than 1% to actually manipulate and to create a narrative so that you can actually have abortions for the other 99% of fucking reckless fucking and sexual responsibility, that's what you would do.
we don't need to imagine the future. It is here right
You've
now.
made your point. You've made your point very forcefully. I'm going to change topics. Kat, the RFK Olivia Nuzzi scandal. So for people who don't know, she's a top New York.
So not a good look for her. The whole thing's really embarrassing. But let's not act as if this 70-year-old, accomplished man who also is married and shouldn't have been doing that. If that was my husband, it wouldn't be, oh yeah, it was all just over the phone. He would still need to find another place to live.
Well, I think that is what's happened with her fiance, isn't it?
Both can be true at once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
Emily, it seems an awful lot of mayhem for a non-physical affair.
I will admit, I'm going to preface that I'm very, I'd say very good friends with RFK Jr. I've been on hikes with him, hence why my phone's been blowing up over this non-physical sexual affair. So I'll admit that I have a bias since I happen to really like him. My whole thing is it takes two to tango. And I agree that, like Kat said, a lot of the media attention has been solely blaming her. He's equally to blame as much as her.
So isn't it ironic that they're having a conversation about a man who had a non-physical affair? However, a woman who is now running, who is the vice president, now running for president, actually had an affair and was sleeping with a married man for several years. That's okay. Not even a point of contention, not even a topic. A man who had a non-physical affair, that means they never touched, never hugged, never fucked, never nothing. That's a person who should be, she said, they would have to find someplace else to live. That's a person who is immorally wrong and he's this and he's that. However, the vice president who was sleeping with Willie Brown, who was in fact a married man for years, not even talked about. Okay.
I feel like, though, the reason that that's happening is because, as Kat pointed out, she wrote this article. She's getting a lot of attention. He's not getting a lot of bad.
To go on your show, and I'm going to defend RFK Jr. because I cannot stand the man. I think he's a Russian puppet.
Actually, I love RFK Jr. And I'm also a big fan. I love him. And I
he
think
doesn't have an ethical obligation not to sleep with a journalist. She's the only person here that had an ethical obligation, a professional obligation. He didn't have one. It's up to him, and it's between him and his wife.
Francesca,
quite frankly, and her ex-fiance.
Well, okay, but Francesca, if you read as I did the RFK, if there isn't,
I think that was it.
Are we all being too censorious here? I mean, she's a brilliant writer. When I was running a newspaper, I found the most talented journalists I had all had.
My thing is, why do y'all give a shit? This woman literally had a non-physical affair with a man over text messages over the phone. That is a conversation and a discussion for him and his wife alone. Why do you, as an American or as a person of Britain or whatever, why would we care about that? It's the same thing with Trump sleeping with Stormy Daniels. I could give two shits of who Trump puts his dick in. I don't care. Same thing with Bill Clinton and the bitch you gave him head. I could give a shit. I don't care who is sucking the president's dick. I don't care who the president is sleeping with. I don't care. I honestly don't care that Kamala Harris was fucking Willie Brown. I don't care. But don't try to play the moral card and say that this person's a monster and just the worst type of human being possible when you voting for a bitch that did twice as worse, if not more. Makes no sense.
Pretty lively private lives.
Come on, she'll be fine. She'll start a Substack. It'll be chill. I don't think it's a great look for
It'll
her,
be
considering
chill.
we know how much love he has for like this guy is scum. I mean, I don't know. You might like some of his political positions, but interpersonally, yikes.
Let's end with.
Why would I not be concerned about his political positions more than his personal decisions? Why would I give a shit about what he's doing personally when I like his political position? Unbelievable, man.
With Ellen, because Ellen DeGeneres is back with her Netflix stand-up special. The reviews have been slating it as an exercise in self-indulgence. Started responding to an online site which was recording all the horror stories of working with Ellen, and yet she's twisted.
And it is a really...
No, she needs to make a career for herself. So, of course, she will rewrite the history for everyone who's doing their part as strong, empowering women. And I just think, I don't like her. I think she's a disgusting...
Up as much as you like, but I think the general public...
About the Me Too movement. The Me Too movement missed all the low-level creeps. Like, what because men
let's not stick up for Ellen
all the time. Men get to do whatever they want. They get to be awful bosses. They get to be completely... I actually do agree with
you. Let's go, hang on. There's a little drum roll, because we are on the verge of potentially a moment in history where the entire panel reaches a moment of agreement, and it's all down to you.
Yes, this is why I wanted to say I actually do agree with you, but I want to stick up for Ellen. No, wait. Let's stick up for Ellen. Because men get to be utter dicks all the time. Men get to do whatever they want. They get to be awful bosses. They get to be completely disgusting. They get to leer. No, they don't. Oh my God, how many?
Why don't you ask P. Diddy how it's going?
The Me Too movement missed all the low-level creeps. Like, what about the dude at Walmart who's just like leering after his stock workers? Like,
what about the bitch at Walmart? Do you hear? These man hating whores. I hate them. I do. I'm sorry. What about the low-level men that are leering at their employees at Walmart? Like there aren't low-level women that are leering at men at Walmart. What the fuck is she talking about? She literally just is a man-hating woman.
What about that guy? Let's take that guy down.
Let's take that guy down. You don't even know who the fuck that guy is, but you want to just take him down. Why? Because he's a fucking guy. There's no fucking way I could be friends with a bitch like this. I'm sorry, but fuck that bitch. What kind of shit is that? Let's take them down. Let's take down all the men. And then when the women do it, they're just empowering themselves. And it's their right to do it.
What's your mind that some women might also be awful? Present company accepted.
Yes, Piers. Oh, yes.
Do you see how instantly disingenuous she became? Yes, Piers. So fucking condescending. Yes, Piers. Yeah, that's right. It's like, bitch, the same exact premise you just said about men applies to women, but you don't want to acknowledge that. You just want to make it seem like it's less than.
Occasionally, there's
some women are awful. Some blokes are awful.
You gave us
some
her,
guys
by
are great. You're looking at one. Some blokes are awful. Some women are great. You guys are great. Some women are dreadful. That's it. That's life. Panel, we reached agreement. I'm so happy I brought you all together.
Yes.
Kat, I was going to mention your book.
And there's one of them.
Brilliant. It's called I Used to Like You.
That bitch is fucking dreadful. The fact that you can't even acknowledge that in today's world, there could be just as many shitty women as there are shitty men, it is beyond comprehension to you, lets me know that you're just a stupid bitch. You are just a stupid, ain't shit bitch if you can't even acknowledge that. That is the person that there's no point in even trying to reason with or talk to because of that. Right. She's a piece of shit. That is an ain't shit bitch that just instantly gives a reprieve to any woman. Women are just the best of everything, and we're just the most awesome everything, but we're the victim of everything too. It's insane that women are even speaking like this to the point to where there are other women smiling and cheesing to a woman speaking like this. This is so idiotic. It's sickening. Why would someone even have this thought, articulate this thought on such a large platform? I don't get it. Meanwhile, like my man UFO Kamikaze says, what about the female school teachers preying on these students? There have been so many fucking female students, fucking boys this year that have come out. It's ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. But they somehow find a way not to talk about that. Why you so busy talking about the Me Too movement missed all the low-level men? Let's go get those guys. Meanwhile, these fucking elementary school teachers are fucking these 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-old boys, and nobody has shit to say about that though, huh? Right. She absolutely hates men, Latrice. She hates men with a passion. And here's the kicker about this. Most women that hate men are jealous that they're not men. They're literally jealous of men. And here's the other part to that. Women, if you are so anti-men, you know what you could do to overcome that? Build your own shit. Women want literally men to build all of this shit. And this is why so many women identify with this democratic liberal shit, because they have the same mentality. And I'll wrap it up with this. They want men to build shit and give it to them to have and use the way they want. Women don't build shit. They don't create nothing. Show me the woman-built city. Show me the woman-built car. Show me the woman-built plane. Show me the woman-built train. Show me the woman-built fill in the blank that society uses as part of its fucking infrastructure today. A woman can make some fucking cold cream to put on their face. They can do that. They can make a fucking pattern or some shit to put on their clothes. Women don't make shit. They don't want to do the tough jobs. They don't want to do the dangerous jobs. And they don't want to build their own anything. I wish that all of these man-hating women would just all move to their own fucking state and build their own fucking city. Watch what would happen. Go and move to some state, find a city, y'all vote in your own politicians, y'all make your own laws, you make your own fucking policies, and you build your own shit. Totally woman ran. Women fixing the streets, the electricity, doing the plumbing, the carpentry. Where's that town at? I would love to see it. That town that's all woman built, all woman ran, all woman managed. Where is it? Ooh, UFO said, what about the female marriage counselors who automatically discriminate against husbands giving wives leverage in divorce proceedings? Man, let me tell you something. And I'm a huge proponent for therapy. I'm a huge proponent for therapy. But when you look at the laws of average, those of you that are out looking for therapy, when you look at the laws of averages, because I'm not going to say absolute, but when you look at the laws of average, the averages and the possibility of you getting a Black female therapist that is going to be effective in your life is slim to none. They are literally fucking unicorns because of where they come from, their background, the fucking fact that they are from lifestyles and usually from backgrounds to where they don't have to have responsibility and accountability, it's very seldom that you're going to find one that's going to be able to actually help you. Now, if you just want a motherfucker that can sit up and listen while you run your mouth, sure. But actually helping you to become a better version of yourself, you be just as inclined to find. If you find one, go play the lottery, because it's definitely your lucky day. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. That's why I'm telling you right now, when y'all go to therapy, you getting couples counseling, all that shit, don't be fucking around with no black woman, because you will get fucked around. Because all she worried about is getting the coin, getting her shmoney up. Just saying. It's sad, but it's true. It's crazy, but it's true. The laws of averages are totally not in your favor. I'm sorry to say it, but I'm saying it. When you talking about effective counseling, therapy, giving you the tools that you need, being able to be an advocate for both parties, whether it's couple counseling, whatever, I would never do it. I would never fucking do it. Black women are just so, because they don't grow up with men in their homes, especially what we would consider to be active or alpha males in their home, they are so resistant and so allergic to any type of accountability or responsibility. It's literally a waste of your fucking time trying to get through, because they're too old. Even when you go back and you look at Ilana Van Zant and look at her fucking shit, look at some of her shit, and look at what she has to do in order to get through to even have a discussion with those black women. She damn near gotta choke them. She literally will be holding them by the shoulders, holding them by the hand, saying, "Listen, beloved." Basically saying, like, "Listen, bitch, you ain't listening." The men, or she can tear them down and build them up in half the episode. Them women, nope. She be cussing them out. Damn near. And she was one of them. I'm just saying, it's a culture thing, and it's it's how we have functioned for so long with being out of order when it comes to the natural order of our households. It's truly crippled us. It just has. But when you talk about how women want their own this and they own that, they got their own car, they got their own house, build your own shit. Show me a skyscraper that the group of women built. When was the last time you seen a woman doing that life-threatening, not a woman, though, when have you seen women doing those life-threatening jobs? You'll catch one sprinkled over here and over there every now and again. You ain't gonna see a bunch of women welding a fucking skyscraper. You won't see it. You won't see it. You won't see an effective all-female police force. You won't see it nowhere. Because just as much shit that they talk is just as much shit that they won't do. They'll talk cash shit all day long. But actually doing that shit, nope. Actually doing the work, actually being the fucker on the skyscraper, actually going to be the bitch that's fucking on the fucking crane and all that shit, nope. Being the bitch walking up on the beam 30 stories up, nope. You won't see that. You won't see, go to a construction site and see it being all women hanging fucking sheetrock and framing. You won't see that. It's literally because they are not builders. Women are they're like managers and supervisors. You still need that owner to put that shit down the right way and make sure it's being ran the right way, just because that's how they're wired. They are made to take care of the kids. They are made to take care of the home, not build it, take care of it, manage it, make sure it's taken care of, make sure it's working throughout the day. The day-to-day shit, that's what you're built for. Now, I know motherfuckers don't want to hear this shit, but this is what it is. Because here's the thing. If you were wired to build it and create it, you all would be doing it because you wouldn't be able not to, because it would be what you were made to do. Name a sport that women came up with. Women didn't make basketball. Women didn't make volleyball. Women didn't make softball. They didn't. They didn't make boxing. They didn't make UFC fighting. Man, shit. We create and we build. We plant seed. You let it grow and yield and give us the yield of our seed that we plant. That's why we live shorter lives. That's why we die first. That's why we sacrifice. And y'all have the expectation for us to do that. That's the reality of it. When you look at what a man does and the price that a man pays, you goddamn right they should be in charge. You goddamn right they should be running the show. Because they have earned that place. Because of what men have to do to have it. We are the ones who die for shit. We are the ones that build shit, invent shit, create shit. We're the ones that have to suffer in silence. That's why it's so important for men to have a relationship with God, because you ain't got nobody else that you can be weak to or be vulnerable to. Because what happens when you do make yourself vulnerable to that woman? And the minute you make her mad, what she do? Talking about your ass on social media. The very thing that you allowed yourself to be vulnerable with a woman will be the very thing that she will exploit to tear you down and to destroy you with the minute you don't make her happy and you're not doing what she wants you to do. That is just the reality. of our women. Is what it is. And if you don't know, now you know, you know. I don't want to get too far off topic, but I just wanted to bring that point up. I hope that this video helps somebody become a better version of themselves. I hope that people can see this and just start to actually look at the truth of things and what they are, as opposed to being so caught up in what I call feel-good politics. I don't need my president, my senator, my congressman, my Supreme Court justice. I don't need any of these politicians, my alderman, my mayor, my governor. I don't need any of y'all to like me. I don't need y'all to make me feel good. I don't need you all to do anything for me but get out of my pocket and get out of my way. You don't have to be smooth. You don't have to talk savvy. You don't have to make me feel good. You don't have to ask me, I just want to ask you if you're okay. I don't need my president to ask me if I'm okay. I need my president to lower my fucking gas bill. I need my president to lower inflation so I can afford the fucking house I want to buy. The fact that it used to be where you had to only make $75,000 to own a home, to now within these fucking 4 years, you got to now be able to make $125,000 to own a fucking home. That's what I need my fucking president to be worried about. And $25,000 ain't gonna fucking cut it because of fucking interest rates. And I don't know why people keep saying that for Kamala Harris. She gonna give us $25,000. If you go look on her website, it says up to $25,000, $25,000, not 25K, up to 25K. So that means there are qualifiers that you're gonna have to make, which usually means you can't make that much money in order to get that 25,000. So it might just be 5, might just be 2. What is that in comparison to a 7-8% fucking interest rate? Do you realize what an 8% interest rate? And I got a $100,000 house. What is 8% of $100,000? That's $8,000 in interest. Why would that be? This $25,000 you talking about, when it's all said and done, if they do give you the full 25, it's just a drop in the bucket because of the inflation of the house, because of the inflation of the market and the cost of the house. The house is already $100,000 overpriced from what the fuck it was. So now on top of that, you're going to add 8% with this interest rate, and then you're going to give me what? $10,000? That ain't going to make no big difference to me to where I can now make this house more affordable for me to where it makes a difference. It's just not. Y'all got to start really diving into the shit that people are telling you. And y'all really have got to start looking at shit for what it is, as opposed to how it just make you feel. That's all I'm saying. That's all I want for you guys, because I want it for my goddamn self. And I don't give a shit what nobody says. If your dumb ass want to go vote for a bitch that's going to make you pay more and everything going to cost more once she's in office, then hey, more power to you, but you're a stupid motherfucker. I'm sorry. I don't give a good goddamn about somebody's personal life. I'm concerned about my own. Stay out my pocket. Let me make and keep as much of my money that I can make, period. And we all know we were all paying far less in taxes and cost of living when Donald Trump was in office as opposed to now. That's just the truth. All that other bullshit, it's just that bullshit. You don't like him because he said this. You don't like him because he racist, even though you can't prove it. And so what if he's racist? I don't give a fuck. How the fuck can you say you don't like Donald Trump because he's racist, but you voted for a fucking guy that fucking gave the eulogy for a fucking grand cyclops? Barack Obama eulogized a grand cyclops and the Ku Klux Klan. Joe Biden was mentored by that same grand cyclops in the Ku Klux Klan. And you talking about Trump is a racist? Man, get the fuck out of my face. But it is what it is, man. I appreciate you guys. Y'all be sure to click the like. And till next time, man, peace. And I'm out.